Marketing Your Private Practice is a podcast where you'll learn easy to implement tips and strategies to grow your business without spending all day online. I'm your host, Colaiacovo, and I teach practitioners the Thrive marketing method to create simple and streamlined plans by focusing on long-term strategies, not just social media. Discover ways to spend less time on your marketing, attract more clients, and build the financial freedom that comes with a thriving practice. One where you have time left in your day for the people and things that matter to you. Hey, private practice heroes. Thanks for tuning into the podcast today. I'm your host, Colaiacovo, and I have a quick question for you. If someone were to land on your website today and they were on any page anywhere on your website and they were ready to book an appointment with you, could they do it in under 30 seconds without thinking about how they do it? If the answer is no, or you're not sure, then you need to keep on listening because that could be where you're losing people in your marketing and your sales funnel. This is something, if you have never looked at it, you need to pay attention to. Because if someone has to figure out how to book with you when they're already on your website, you're probably going to lose them. And this is something I see all the time when I review websites, even blog posts when I review them. People are doing a lot of things right. They've got a niche, their messaging is decent, referrals are coming in, but they don't feel enough people are booking appointments or booking consults. And when they go checking things out, they find that it's very hard and very challenging for a website visitor, whether they're a stranger who found you online or there's someone who got referred to you, they're on your website. And if it is confusing to book that first call with you, they may just walk away and find somebody else who has a very simple way for them to book an appointment. So today, what I want to do is walk through a very simple website checkup that you can do to make sure that when someone is ready to start working with you or they want to book a discovery call, that it is easy, obvious, and actually works. And as we go through this lesson, you can either pull up your website to follow along. What I will actually do is create a PDF handout that you can download with these steps so you can follow along later on when you can do a proper check on your website. We're really talking about doing a 7-step website checkup to help you book more clients. And the first step I'm going to give you is actually a rule I have. It's called my CTA book a call rule. And there are no exceptions to it. Everywhere you have the words book a call or book a call with me or book a discovery call or however you word it, when you have those words on your website or they're a button on your website or they're on an image somewhere, they've got to be clickable. You've got to take them to the place where people can actually book a call. When you have those words, book a call, they're going to look around for where they can find a link, either close to the words, on a button, on an image, whatever it is. They will instinctively wanting to be clicking that. But when you don't have those links, you've made things so much more challenging for that person when they wanted you. They were looking to make an appointment with you. They're looking for you to help them solve their problems. And in this online world we live in, people expect anything online with an underline to be a link. And the same goes for the actual words or the words on a button. If they see those words, people are instinctively going to want to click on it. And if they actually are ready to book that appointment with you, those words need to have some action behind them. They need that link because if it doesn't work, trust in you will drop instantly. So my new rule for you today, as of today, anytime, anywhere you have the words, book a call, book a time with me, book a discovery call, I don't care how you phrase it, anywhere you have those words on your website, and this is whether they're a button, words, text, or an image, They've got to have a link under them and they have to be clickable. And they have to take them where they're actually going to be able to book a call with you. So that is step one in this process, making sure that anytime you say those words, you back it up with a link so that people can actually take action. Now, the second step in this process, the second piece you want to check up is you want to always make sure that the wording to book a call matches the wording on the page you're sending them to book the call. This one trips people up all the time. And a lot of people don't realize that if the words don't match, if the intention is not the same in both places, you could be losing people. You might say, book a free discovery call. But then when they click to your booking calendar, it says initial consultation, or maybe something a little more clinical, which is what I've seen with a lot of practitioners I work with. Well, that disconnect creates a lot of hesitation and doubt, and that interrupts the action of the person. They start wondering, is this the same thing? Am I booking the wrong service? Am I booking the right thing? Is this what I'm supposed to do? And when people hesitate or get confused, they don't take action. So step number 2 is very simple. You've got to make sure wherever you have calls to action to book a call, that you use clear words for them, and that when they get to wherever they're going to be able to book that appointment with you, that the words match whatever you just told them to do. Now, step number 3 is something that a lot of practitioners make. Sometimes it's not their own fault. Sometimes it will depend on the booking system that you use. But you want to always make sure that you are linking directly to the right type of appointment. What I often see when I do website reviews is that someone will have the words, yay, they've done step number 1. They've got the words to say, book a free discovery call, and it takes them to their booking page. They will have that free discovery call on there, but also on that page are their paid appointments, their other different kinds of appointments, the initial consultation, the follow-up one, and people get really confused then. Now they have to start thinking, am I supposed to do a paid booking appointment? Is it a free one? I thought I clicked a free one. What one do I choose? Is this the right one? And this really trips them up, especially if they see paid ones, because if they are looking to book that free discovery call, they had no clue about fees at this point. So that disconnection will really slow people down. Instead, you want to make sure that you have that link go directly to the exact type of appointment that you want them to book. Ideally, if you've said the words book a discovery call, it goes to a page where that's the only type of appointment they can make. Now, a lot of your electronic health records out there, like Simple Practice, Practice Better, even Jane, they all have a way to do this. But sometimes you have to take a couple of extra steps to make sure that you're using the right link. So if in your booking calendar, you can have a couple clicks through and it takes you to the spot where they're actually booking just that free 15, 20-minute call, that's the link you want to use so that it matches up. Now, some of these systems don't allow you to do that, and I get that. I'm not saying go out and change your system because it doesn't do that. But what you can do is try to minimize the risk of confusing people by making sure that the free discovery call is the one that shows at the very top of your general booking page. So if you do have to send them to a place where there's more than one appointment type that they can pick from, you want to make sure the free one is showing up at the top of the list. Now, sometimes you might have to force that if they're done in alphabetical order. Maybe you need to put a little space or an underscore and an asterisk before the name of the appointment. Anything that you can do to try and make it show first in the list if it's showing alphabetically. If it's not, then you have to really look at what's there and figure out, is there anything that you can do to make it less confusing for people so that it really makes sense to them? Removing any chance of confusion so that they can make that decision a lot easier. Because the more choices you give someone when they're looking to book that appointment, the more likely they are to get confused and then pick none of them. And we don't want that at all. Now, step 4, when you look at your website, I want you to look at your contact page. This should never be a dead end on your page. Now, your contact page, I'll be honest, there's a lot more that can do for you than people realize. I did do an episode of the podcast on contact pages and how you can optimize them to get more bookings. And I'll put a link to that in the show notes wherever you're listening into this episode. And that one gives you a lot more details on all of the specifics to put on your contact page. But the main thing you want to be looking at it here is ensuring that your contact page is not just simply your name, your address, phone number if you put it out there, and a form to reach you. You also want to make sure that your book a call button is on your contact page. And I tell people this, even if you have a menu item that says an appointment or schedule a free call, if that is up in the navigation menu on your website, if it's on your home page, if it's on your footer, I don't care where you have it. You can have it everywhere on your website. But if it's not on your contact page, you're going to have fewer bookings because a lot of people are going to instinctively click to the contact page to figure out how to reach you. So you want to make sure that you have a way for them to book that free call on there. I prefer having a button so that it stands out more. And then you can also have the contact form because for some people, booking a call feels like a really big step. They're not quite ready yet to book an appointment with you and to talk to you. Maybe they want to reach out first because they have a question. Having that contact form is a way to give them that option too. On your contact page, you definitely want both options. A send a message way, ideally using a contact form so you're not putting a live email on there because you'll just start getting spam from that. And then having a button that says book a free discovery call. Step number 4 here, most importantly, is your contact page cannot be a dead end. It also needs to have a book a free discovery call button on there. And the contact form, I would put that on there too as a backup. Now, step number 5, this is one of the biggest missteps I see when I'm looking at websites. People will explain their services really well. They're going to have a service page. They're going to list them out. They're going to describe who they help. They're going to have an overview of the services that they offer. They're going to even sometimes explain how the appointments work, what they might cost, all the details on those services, and then nothing. They have absolutely no call to action on the services page. And there needs to be one there because if somebody is on your services page, I can promise you they've already been somewhere else on your website. Based on the hundreds of sites I've reviewed and the analytics I've looked at, very few websites just have people land on the services page unless something took them there. Most people find the homepage, find it in a search, somebody tells them about it, and then they explore. If they're on the services page, they're probably very interested in your services. Every page you have on your website should lead somewhere, and that includes a page like your services page. So you want to have a call to action here that tells them what to do next. Now, maybe you're repeating your 1, 2, 3 steps that you might have on your homepage. Maybe you're just having a link to, if you'd like to get started, click here and book a free discovery call. Maybe you want to link them to your contact page. However you want to work it out, you need to make sure that you don't let people drop if they're on your services page. That is the page that tells them everything about what you offer. You definitely do not want to miss a call to action on there that tells them how to get started working with you. All right, let's move on to number 6 here. Number 6 is for those people that are out there that are blogging or putting blog posts on your website. Every single blog post needs to have a call to action to take a next step, including that book a call as a CTA somewhere, somehow on that blog post. I see this all the time when I'm reviewing blogs. And it's one of the things that I do for a lot of people when I review websites. I'll go and look at the last 4 or 5 blogs just to get an idea of what they're doing with their marketing. And if you are writing blogs, like a lot of practice and business owners who work with me are, you might find, before you talk to me, of course, that you're skipping the biggest element to include on every blog post, which is a very clear call to action on what to do next. A lot of blog posts I see when people first come to me will end with something like, "Thanks for reading," and a recap of the lesson, and that's it. But your blog is often where people really start to explore more about what you have to offer. So if they landed there from another page, from a post that you put out online, that told them to go read your blog, and they've gotten to the end of a blog post and it leaves them hanging with no next step, well, then you have truly wasted that piece of marketing content, my friend. Every blog should guide the visitors on your website to take a next step of some sort. Maybe it's booking a free discovery call. Maybe it's downloading your lead magnet, a free resource. Maybe it's even reading another blog post related to this one for more information. Those three different actions all have different value in your marketing plans, in your marketing funnel, but they are all a next step that people can take. You always give them a next step on the blog post. It is one of the first places that I look at that I will see great content, good information, and then nothing at the end of it. And bonus tip here, those calls to action do not have to all come at the end of a blog post or at the end of a website page even. They can be made to fit in naturally higher up on the page, in the middle, near the beginning when you might mention a specific term. They do not all have to just come at the end of the post or the page. Not everybody reads to the end, and strategic calls to action will actually be in the middle of your page so that you have an opportunity to convert more people to taking action. Maybe you're going to share an extra resource with them. For example, I have a free blogging checklist people can download. In the middle of some of my blog posts about blogging, of course, it makes total sense to guide someone to that. There are lots of ways you can catch people's attention in various places on a blog post. Again, you've got to make it make sense so that you're not disrupting them so much as they're reading. You don't want to disrupt that flow so that they consume the content. You can add something in there and give them a little bit more to take a next step. A lot of times I will encourage people to create some cornerstone content pieces. One that's really good for a lot of people is, what is an eating disorder? How to diagnose an eating disorder? What is intuitive eating? How do you work with a therapist? Those are kinds of posts that a lot of people might refer to a lot on their website. They're the kind that you could always refer to as a call to action from one blog post to another. And of course, the more you have people staying longer on your website, the more the search engines take notice of your website as well. If people come on your website and stay and read and click to a page and read another thing on that page and stay longer, that helps boost your online visibility. It shows the search engines that people like what you have put out on your website and the content is good. So step number 6, every blog post needs a call to action to take a next step. Making sure that people can book a free discovery call with you is one of those possible actions on there. And then step number 7 is you've got to make sure that you test your own booking process at least every quarter of the year. And this is something I want you to actually block and do as a repeatable task every 3 months in your calendar. You do not want to be the person who comes to someone like me one day saying, all your client discovery calls have dried up and no one's booking with you, only to find out when we go take a look at your website that the link was broken on your contact page and nobody could book a call with you. Or maybe the reminder email from your own booking calendar was not sending people the reminder to help them show up to the appointments. Or one time, I had a client whose integration broke from the calendar. So people were booking. It didn't show up in her calendar, and she was actually the no-show. Not a good way to present yourself in business. You always want to make sure this is one of your roles as the CEO of your practice. You've got to be auditing your own business once in a while. And that means checking up on yourself on a regular basis to make sure all the things are working the way they should be. If you're a solo practitioner, you don't have the luxury of having a department who's going to do this for you on a regular basis. So these regular checks have to be something that you plan for. And if they're not something you ever thought of before today, promise me that you will look at them as a little more important than you ever thought before. Try to book like a client would and make sure all of the different elements are working and test it out. Read the confirmation emails, read the messages, make sure everything is working and in working order and makes sense to people getting into every step of that booking process. If you have confusion, that is where you're going to lose it. So if someone lands on your website today and is ready to book an appointment with you, you've got to ensure you have very clear options for them to be able to do this without any roadblocks stopping them everywhere they try. And that's my lesson for you today. People that have gone through and made changes like this have started seeing an increase in their bookings. Making sure you go through the whole process is critical. And I don't want you to overthink this. As you go through these 7 steps, just start with what's broken if anything is broken. Don't look at rewriting your entire marketing plan or your entire content on your website. That's not what we're looking at here. Make sure things are working. Once you've got them in order, then you can kind of look at all the pages on your website, look at the flow of your marketing funnel, look at the goals that you have, and make sure that people can easily book with you. Because when you have it as easy as possible for them to be able to book those discovery calls, those first steps to becoming a client, that's how you're going to get more clients and grow your practice. I'm going to give you a quick recap of all 7 steps because I don't want you to forget them. Number 1, do not forget my rule of anywhere you have the words book a call, book with me, book an appointment, you've got a clickable link underneath those words or the image or the button, and that it goes directly to your booking page. You want to make sure, number 2, that the wording on your website where you tell someone to book a call matches what shows up on that booking calendar so they're not confused. Make sure you update your links as well so that if you have more than one appointment type on your main booking calendar page, that you have it go to the specific one for discovery calls. And if you have a link to where people can book those paid ones, send them right to those as well. Step number 4 in this checkup is to review your contact page and make sure you have both a clear book a call button and a contact form as well. And you'll also want to check for the other 8 items that I've included in that episode on optimizing your contact page. It's episode 102, and the link to that will be in the show notes. Number 5, I want you to go to your services page. Make sure that you have at least one, if not a couple, calls to action and links telling people what to do next and how to get started with you. Whether it's book a paid appointment or book a free discovery call, because I know not everybody does free calls, you want to make sure the services page, the page where you list your offerings, definitely has a CTA and a way to get started with you. Number 6, I want you to go check all your blog posts and make sure that you are having some sort of call to action on every single one. And if you haven't been doing that, take some time. If you're sitting watching stuff on TV, got Netflix going, whatever it is, just sit there with your laptop and do a couple every week when you watch your favorite show. You'll find that you'll catch up very easily. Start with the latest ones, but make sure every blog post has some calls to action that make sense, have clear guidance and direction, and tell people what to do to take one more step with you. Number 7 is making sure that you have that quarterly checkup process so that you go through the full booking process on a regular basis and test it just like a client so that nothing is broken and you're not missing any emails. And this can happen. Recently, we've had a couple clients, we've had some issues with some form plugins on websites. So we're actually going in and checking the submissions every day on the websites because sometimes those systems aren't always working. And the email that should be coming to us from the contact form is not making its way in. As we figured out the issues, we made sure we were going in and had a backup process in plan because we do stuff to check these out. Same as you want to check your full booking process. And like I said, try to do that every quarter if you can. What I want you to take from this lesson is really simple. People are already landing on your website. They're coming from referrals. Maybe they found you on Google. Maybe it was something you shared online, but they came to your website. Maybe they're going to book an appointment with you or a free discovery call. But the second they have to stop and figure out what to do next, that's where you lose them. They won't book, they won't fill out the form, and they won't come back later on. They just move on, and you may never even know it happened. So before you go off and try to do even more marketing to try and get that working and getting more clients in your door, check out your website first and look at how easy is it for people to book with you? Is the system working or not? The goal is to make sure that people can easily book those appointments with you, whether they're paid or free calls. When that's working, you may not need the more marketing that you think is your solution. You just may need more of the people who've already found you to be able to follow through. I did make a PDF of all of these steps for you. So if you want to grab that and download it, you can get that from the show notes page at marketingyourprivatepractice.com/176. This is Kathy Colaiacovo signing off. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope today's lesson helped you spot a few gaps in your own marketing. And remember, to thrive in practice or business means making it as easy as possible for people to take that next step with you without confusion or hesitation or extra clicks. You want them to be able to click and book right with you. I'll see you next time. You can find all of our show notes and resources mentioned at marketingyourprivatepractice.com. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram at pepperitmarketing and say hi. I'd love to hear any feedback you have, and make sure to rate and review the podcast and hit subscribe on your favorite player so you don't miss any future episodes.